Check. Watching around the world. Pull up the seat and pull out the shot glass. Hard never is for the podcast. Try media for the broadcast. Straight up balling out on they fraud ass. The coalition of bitches, they talk trash. On the mission to fit in your soft ass. Rolling green and clubbing this golf class. Loaded lust couldn't say they lost ass. The campus community streets is all sad. Niggas be thinking the heat they all last. Be conscious of all the sand in the hourglass. Be humble when be prepared when the power pass. Old and young niggas, we all class. Ideology different, we move the ball fast. Yeah, these chickens is out of season, we haul ass. There's a reason we undefeated, it's all fast. Pull up a seat, pull out a shot glass. Hard nigga is for the podcast. Try media for the broadcast. Straight up balling out on they fraud ass. Pull up a seat, pull out a shot glass. Hard nigga is for the podcast. Try media for the broadcast. Straight up balling out on they fraud ass.
You know what I'm saying? I want to say give it up one time to the Abbott, y'all.
Yes.
He creates these experiences that, broaden everything that we see. He don't just stop at a record. He brings you more than that. And I wanted to grab the mic from you tonight when you was walking off and say, give it up, So this time I'm doing it in front of all your friends, right?
Give it up.
Absolutely. Goodbye,
yes.
Look, I said I bomb atomically, properly, chopping these purple chronic leaves, finders fees in my pocket, like my Honda keys. Sauce on my nugget, ways piling these. Manhattan was happen, chop a lot of cheese. Now how can these bird over feather flock of geese try to stop my chakra heat when I'm rocking beats? Socrates, but that ain't theorem. In fact, I can cure him for whack interference.
I'm gonna see if I can share my screen. I don't know if it'll let me.
I'm just getting my name up, blowing my name up like I smoke up a paint pump.
Hold on, I'll get
Every
that.
other week, my car was parked at the airport. My life is so unique that you don't know what I'm there for. So therefore, need to go and love who you care for. They say health is wealth and you niggas is dead poor. Talk a lot of shit, but the kid done read more. Than your average Christian, Muslim, or feds more. Get to the bag, I say. Steady making haters mad, I say. I listen what my grandma say. You better get your shit together. And we steady getting jet lag, I say. Headed to the bag, I say. I listen what my grandma say. You better get your shit together. Bomb atomically, properly, chopping these purple chronic leaves, finders fees in my pocket, like my Honda keys. Sauce on my nugget, ways piling these. Manhattan was happen, chop a lot of cheese. Now how can these bird over feather flock of geese try to stop my chakra heat when I'm rocking beats? Socrates, Pythagorean theorem. In fact, I can cure him for whack interference. Now put my sake, please. Confidently and respectfully, per use, respecting me intellectually. Find the words in my recipe to represent my weaponry. Treat the beat like a recipe. Fried cabbage and 808s is my favorite treat. Only take a seat when I'm in categories to save your speech. Only thing you accepting is straight defeat. My presence accepted by the elites. Guys of this rap shit can hear a guard whenever I speak. So we gon' get to the bag, I say. Steady making haters mad, I say. I listen what my grandma say. You better get your shit together. And we steady getting jet lag, I say. Headed to the bag, I say. I listen what my grandma say. You better get your shit together. Bomb atomically, properly, chopping these purple chronic leaves, finders fees in my pocket, like my Honda keys. Sauce on my nugget, ways piling these. Manhattan was happen, chop a lot of cheese. Now how can these?
Yo, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
What up, what up, what up? Let's do an audio check. Check one, check two.
Mic check, mic check.
Yep.
All right,
Good
yeah, I can't share my screen here. I'm on my iPad. I don't have my computer.
You should be
I
able to.
did. No, it doesn't let me for some reason. And I have it on desktop mode, but it just doesn't.
Okay, so do me a favor then.
I sent it to you.
Put the links that you, I know, but put the links that you want to share onto the, can you copy the links into the back chat in here?
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I
Um,
don't have the Discord that I have in here is not my low key jizzer. It's my brass, and I think you sent the
yeah,
stuff to my low key jizzer.
yeah. For some reason, I can't message the brass one.
No, no one can message that one, but
Yeah.
I'll add you. I just didn't add anybody else.
Okay. Bet.
Only like Hits, Logic, and DQ can message me on that
Okay.
one. What's going on? Peace to the chat. It's gonna be a quick one, quick pop up before the Monday night games, and y'all get y'all FanDuel on or whatever it is y'all trying to do. Try to get y'all some live content. You're more than welcome. I know y'all been itching to cuss me out for the past couple months, so you're more than welcome to hit the link and holler at your boy. I'm actually in the building. But I wanted to have this conversation. My brother Mel, he he's a little bit deeper as far as like in certain conversations than we are. We have a lot of surface level conversations. Mel can go a lot further in these conversations than we can, and he'll share stuff in the Discord. Y'all got to get in that Discord. I'll drop a link to the Discord. Y'all got to get in that Discord because the conversations that we have in there are a lot different than the conversations we have um, um, when we tried to do a prepared show. So Mel was talking about Charlie Kirk the other day, and then we started talking about autism, and we started talking about um, 45, and then it was like the more the conversation went on, I was like, nah, let's do a quick show because this is stuff I don't think people really know. So we're gonna put together a quick presentation for y'all, sourced out some stuff y'all can go look at. We can have a conversation, and then y'all more than welcome to come up and participate in the conversation. Now, listen, we all know, the majority of the people that are going to see this aren't big Donald Trump fans, but that's not necessarily what this is about. Um, this is more about propaganda conversation taking place right before your eyes that maybe you're not paying attention to. And we're going to bring some highlights that maybe you didn't see necessarily. So I'm going to give the floor to my brother Mel. He's gonna start. He's loading up the sources in the back chat, and then we'll move from there. Let me get the Discord link.
So what I want to say, I'll put the links out there, and you can put them in the chat
Mm-hmm.
for the audience. I won't go
Mm-hmm.
through every link just because it's quite a lot. I did a lot of extensive research.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if they want to look at all the sources and everything, I'll put them back in the back, and then you can post those
Okay.
onto YouTube.
Now, the PowerPoint. Do you want me to pull it up, or how do you want to do
Yeah,
it?
if you could do that for me, because it doesn't let me put it up on my end.
Is the PowerPoint back here?
Yeah, I just posted it.
Okay.
It's the first link.
Okay.
Can you access it?
Mm, that
Hold on, let
that
me
it?
see. Hold
Politics
on
of
one second.
autism science.
Yep, that's it.
Hold on. Let me play with it a little bit. Pause. That sounded crazy. That sounded absolutely crazy. All right. How do you want to do this? Now, do you want them to see the whole screen? You want them to see us? Or you want them to
Can
just
you
see
can you
the
do like
presentation?
both? Just in
Yeah,
case
yeah.
somebody pops up. So
Yeah. But
like it's
for
big
the most
enough.
part, because it's your presentation, I'll be here, but you just tell me when to move it forward and I'll move it forward
Okay.
and just let you talk to the people. Unless you want me
Yeah.
to be able to, unless we're going back and forth, or you just gonna show the presentation. How do you want to do it? It's up to you.
Well, I'll do the presentation first, and then of course, if you have any points you want to add, or if anybody from the audience, wants to come up, at least let me finish the presentation, and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead,
All right.
knock it out.
All right. Give me a second. I'm just posting a few more. It's a lot of sources I posted.
No, no, post a lot. I'm gonna play some music.
All right. Cool.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, Kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. Jet, we Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death. I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and fine to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. To the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on her, flaring on her. We Rick flaring on her, flaring.
So we can stop here. Again, I got more sources, but we can stop here.
Do you ever actually show what Trump said?
So I have a video. If you want to play it, you may have to put like.
Is it this one? Hold on. Let me see.
Hold on, let me see. It's
Hold
not
on,
in the
I'm about to share the
presentation.
screen. No, I'm about to
Actually,
share the screen. 1 second.
okay.
Is it that one?
No. I actually sent it to you. Let me send it to your brass one. 1 second.
Okay.
It's a little clip that I clipped.
Okay. Peace to y'all. You'll be right on the way. Get you in, pause, get you out, get you into that Monday Night Football. I think it's the Jets Miami, I think. No? Is it Jets Miami? I think it's Jets Miami, and I think it's Bengals Broncos.
Hey, do me a favor.
What?
Add me under your brass one, then I can send you the
real
video.
quick. Okay.
I already sent you your friend request.
Did you send me a request?
Yep.
I don't see it.
Okay, I'm gonna take the request away. If I can. No, I can't.
Yeah, I don't think I probably can't even request it. Send me, just put the link in the link the video and put it in the back chat.
Okay, in the gen chat?
No, in the private the
Oh no, it's not a link. It's an actual video
oh, it's
file.
a full video file. Oh,
it's just a couple
okay.
seconds, but yeah, it's a file.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can't fix this. Just give me an idea then what it is. Because I can change these settings. But
If you want, I can play the audio of it.
Yeah. The audio will work.
Okay, I'll do that. So I'm gonna see if you guys can hear it. So hold on 1 second. All right, so turn my audio up. All right, here we go.
And tomorrow we're going to have one of the biggest announcement, really medically, I think, in the history of our country. We're going to be doing it with Bobby and Oz and all of the professionals. I think you're going to find it to be amazing. I think we found an answer to autism. How about that? Autism. Tomorrow we're going to be talking in the Oval Office in the White House about autism, how it happens, so we won't let it happen anymore, and how to get at least somewhat better when you have it, so that parents can help their child, their beautiful child. That's a big one. And tomorrow we're going to have one of the biggest
Okay, that's it.
announcements.
So that's the he basically showed up at the Charlie Kirk memorial,
Hmm.
and he had an opportunity to speak there, and so basically he took the time, with all the cameras and the people there on September 21st to actually, make this statement. So I'm gonna give a full just analysis of this little bit of a quote that you heard from him,
Hmm.
what that means, what he's trying to say, as well as those that are with him, and then the rebuttal, if you will.
Okay.
Um, so we'll do that, and we'll start with the presentation. I am going to read from the presentation, but I have a lot that I'm not going to read from
Okay.
the presentation just to kind of explain things.
Hmm.
So keep that in mind. Again, the presentation is more so for the audience to kind of understand the direction I'm going in. So we'll start there.
All right. I'm gonna remove myself. I'm gonna leave you up here, and just tell me when to move to the next page, and I'll just move to the next page of the presentation.
Okay, if you want, make it full screen. You can take us off. That way they can see everything.
Okay. Let me take the banner down.
All right, and could you zoom in it? Yeah, do a start slideshow so it's big.
Yeah. One second. One second. That's better.
Much better. Okay,
All
so
right.
all right, so again, thanks everybody for pulling up. Thanks everybody in the chat. So today we're talking about the politics of autism science. So the subtitle here is an examination of extraordinary claims, scientific evidence, and the intersection of politics with medical research in the context of recent autism announcement from the Trump administration. All right, you can go to the next slide. So this is a breakthrough announcement on September 21st, specifically at the Charlie Kirk Memorial Service in Glendale, Arizona. Actually, before former president, but actually he's current president. President Donald Trump used the eulogy there to basically give a announcement to autism. His quote is, "I think we found the answer to autism," and he promised, quote, that his administration won't let it happen anymore. And so this announcement he declares as one of the biggest announcements medically in the history of our country. During that eulogy, he credited Charlie Kirk uh, for influencing his decision there. And so basically, he appointed Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's a known vaccine skeptic Democratic, well, formerly Democrat, turned now he's independent, as a Health and Human Services Secretary. So he's appointed him, and he also has acknowledged that Dr. Mehmet Oz, Dr. Oz from the known celebrity TV show, is also on his team. And they both were in the Oval Office on Monday, September 22nd, the next day, for the announcement. And so that's what they're doing. Let's go to the actual claims here. Uh, so if you go to the next slide. Okay. So the claims here is that Tylenol we'll talk about Tylenol and folinic acid. So basically, the alleged cause here is that Tylenol or acetaminophen is, and I probably butchered that, but we'll say Tylenol for now, is using Tylenol during pregnancy is identified as the primary cause for autism spectrum disorders. That's the claim that both Trump and RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz are making and supporting. And so they're trying to pretty much ban Tylenol across the board, stating that it causes this. The proposed treatment for children who already have it as a preventative measure is folinic acid or leucovorin. And that's something that's supposed to help treat current autism symptoms from people that children that already have it. And so the goal is um, by removing the usage of Tylenol for pregnant women and by supplementing folinic acid for those who already have autism, the goal is to eventually prevent autism as much as possible. And then, also for those who have symptoms, improve, their overall, mental health by minimizing the symptoms, if not completely getting rid of them. So that's the claim. That's pretty much what's being suggested here. Um, so these particular claims overall are a dramatic oversimplification of actual autism research. The announcement basically suggested that decades of scientific inquiry into autism, both the causes and the treatments, had been resolved through basically these two simple interventions, both removing Tylenol from pregnant women to use and then also proposing folinic acid as a treatment or preventative measure. And so this ignores the entire medical body of research, which has acknowledged autism as being something that's very complex, both genetically and environmentally, as well as the heterogeneous nature of those spectrum disorders. So I want to go more into the scientific evaluation of this. First, we want to go into Tylenol. You can go ahead and click on the next slide. There we go. So uh, the medical community has heard this and they're aware of these claims and they have responded, as well as the Autism Science Foundation. So Uh, First, I want to say that this claim that prenatal use of Tylenol increases autism risks has been circulating in fringe health circles for years, but it still remains unproven until today. Until today, it still is unproven and still highly disputed by mainstream scientists and the medical community. Lots of health agencies, including the FDA, including the CDC, also emphasize that there's no causal link with Tylenol and the use of it during pregnancy causing autism. And they, along with the U.S. Food Drug and specifically the Food Drug Administration, and other leading medical organizations like medical colleges. I know for one, American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and like I said, the CDC. They all actually support the usage of Tylenol and state that it's safe to use during pregnancy if used as directed. And in fact, their rebuttal is by removing Tylenol from pregnant women, you cause, the danger of those health complications either to the mother or the child to be a lot more dire because there's nothing there that prevents, those complications from worsening. Tylenol helps with that, and it's been supported as long as it's used as directed. There's no problem with using Tylenol, and nothing has been proven that shows Tylenol is unsafe for pregnant women to use. So the Autism Science Foundation has stated, and I have two links if you want to post those. They have stated that the evidence linking Tylenol to autism remains inconsistent and inconclusive. And there were lawsuits back in 2023 claiming Tylenol use causes autism. Those lawsuits were dismissed due to lack of reliable scientific evidence. Until again, to this day, there's no concrete evidence that links those two. The government of the Trump administration here hasn't even done a case study, with several children in several cases to determine this link. So again, this is something that the medical community has certified as fringe. Again, it's an old argument. It's not something that has been around. It's not something that hasn't been around. It's been around for a while. It's just not yet proven. So that's the evidence. I have more detailed evidence when it comes to that because, again, uh, as far as the medical community, they do take claims like this very seriously. And, if the president, is coming from the top, and if the president and those he's associated with are making these claims, this could dismantle the medical industry. For one, this puts Tylenol on watch, them and then manufacturer, as well as any other acetaminophen manufacturer, because they benefit off of this being something that can help with pain and as well as with pregnant women. For the FDA, the CDC, and other medical organizations that are government ran, this also puts them on notice because this undermines them. They've been recommending Tylenol in this case for years, so uh, this isn't something that, is just going to be, oh, Trump is just saying something and it doesn't matter. He's undermining his own, medical staff and his own medical government. So let's go to the next
Did you want
slide
me to show
here.
that first link at the one you sent at 528 or no? Or
You
you
don't,
just
you
want to go
don't
to the
have
presentation
to.
first?
Yeah, just put it in the chat so they
Okay,
can look at it.
got it.
Especially the two that say autism, the Autism Science
Okay,
Foundation.com,
no problem.
because they did those two responses. Um, So we're going to talk about the complex history of Tylenol and autism research. First thing I want to say here is autism has existed prior to Tylenol's existence. So we have to understand that. Prior to Tylenol, remember we're not using Tylenol because it was not available, or they were using something else. Autism had already existed. It predates Tylenol. That's the first thing I want to make sure is clear and understood, so you understand how bogus his claim is. And this is just not me being biased. I'm just looking at the data. I'm looking at the history. So we'll go over the history here. First, 2008 to 2009, early hypothesis came out. Stephen T. Schultz published parent survey papers suggesting links between, we'll say, Tylenol use and autism. And Peter Good's review in Alternative Medicine Review argued that Tylenol might provoke autism, though these were preliminary observational studies. Next, 2019 to 2020, biomarker studies. These are cohort studies using cord blood and meconium samples, reported associations between prenatal Tylenol exposure and ASD or ADHD, basically not causing autism. However, researchers explicitly note that these associations did not prove causation. Next, 2021, precautionary consensus. A Nature Reviews endocrinology consensus statement called for precautionary approaches to Tylenol use during pregnancy, while carefully noting that this is not proof of causation. And then lastly, last year, and I have a link for this one as well. I think he's posting it. But there was a study, master study by Swedish JAMA, and they use sibling comparisons, which is considered a gold standard when you're observing medical history. If you can use two siblings and show a case where something is affecting one child and it affects another, that's groundbreaking because even though those children are related, they're very different. So in this case, they did do observational research, and they found no causal link between prenatal Tylenol exposure and neurodevelopment disorders. And this is last year. And they did an actual case study. Hundreds of children were involved in this case study. So this is an example of something that the Trump administration should have done before they made this claim. But again, like I said, when you're dealing with people who have political agendas, they tend to make claims and not really back them up. All right. So next, let's go into folinic acid because we've already addressed Tylenol use. We've already addressed, that there's no link, there's no proven link. There have been case studies. Again, this isn't a new claim. It's an old claim. We've also addressed the lawsuits that, there were two lawsuits back in 2023 where they tried to sue for this and they have yet to prove it. And we also addressed the factors of by pregnant women not taking Tylenol. It could complicate things, specifically with the pregnancy, with either the mother having to deal with that pain or the child. So we addressed Tylenol. The next claim that they made, folinic acid, which is, their promise versus the reality. You had to go back. There you go. All right. So the purpose of folinic acid being brought up is a proposed treatment to treat children who already have autism. First, I want to say that this idea comes from research into a subset of autistic children who have what's called cerebral folate deficiency, or in their brain, it has issues with transporting folate to the brain. So a lot of children that's on this autism spectrum have been found to possess what are classified as auto antibodies that mess with the folate receptors and they interfere with the transmission. And what this does is it prevents their brains from prevents their brains from having the maximum amount of uptake that they could have within the cerebrospinal fluid. And I think the CBS News.com link that he posted explains that. So in a lot of those cases, high doses of folinic acid can bypass the blockage, and it can raise the folate levels within the nervous system. So there have been some small trials. So, I'll start here. The step 2, limited clinical trials. There have been trials in 2016 to 2018. Random, double-blind trials showed improvements in verbal communication for some participants, but the study was small, and the benefits were limited to specific domains. What those domains are, even though it worked for those cases, there was a doctor, Dr. Fry, who did the research, and he quoted leucovorin or folinic acid isn't a cure for autism, but it could really have a substantial impact on a good percentage of children with autism, particularly those with measurable folate pathway issues. So that is the case that can help. Even factcheck.org, and I have to put that link in the back, but you guys can look this up on factcheck.org. They also gave notes that evidence for folinic acid as an autism treatment is very limited, but more research is needed. And the reason why is because while folinic acid may be beneficial in these small cases, a lot of these children, their issues are genetic or they're environmental. So a lot of times they may not have folate blockages within the central nervous system. A lot of times it comes from those, varying factors, and you just can't plug in folinic acid as a direct treatment. It's not guaranteed to work. It's not a universal solution. So I want to say before we get into the politics that the scientific consensus does not support the sweeping claims that Trump's team appears poised to make. Neither Tylenol Norfolate deficiency has been shown to cause autism. And by them proposing such simple causal links contradicts decades of autism research. Autism is widely understood as a complex condition, like I've been saying, with multiple genetic and environmental factors. So there's no one clear cut cause to autism. And again, that's based on autism researchers. So let's go to the political implications. Let's look at the politics. Go ahead and go to the next slide for me. All right, and I hope you're following. If you have questions, comments, definitely put them in the chat, or hit the link when he drops the link. So we're going to look at the political implications of this because we've explained Tylenol, we've explained folinic acid, so we've addressed the claims. So let's look at why these particular three men are, tied to this. So first is Donald Trump. We have to understand that he did this at a highly charged political setting. It's the memorial of Charlie Kirk, who's a known right-wing activist. Uh, at this particular event, there's a lot of people there. It was a packed stadium. There's a sympathetic audience, who's likely emotional. There's maximum media coverage for Trump, being there and supporting it. So he really sees the moment, in my opinion. He sees the moment because all eyes were going to be present, at this memorial. So for him to show up, as well as RFK, for them to be there, it was prime time TV really for him to make the claim that y'all heard him make. Um, Trump framed himself. He continues to frame himself as a capable leader, uh, who's decisive and able to solve complex medical challenges that have eluded the scientific establishment. This new claim serves political narratives about disrupting traditional institutions and delivering rapid solutions to long-standing problems. And I addressed this by saying, if you remember in the debate he had with, Kamala Harris, when the moderator asked them both about, their health plans, what did they have to help, the country for health, Trump didn't really have an answer. He didn't have anything to prepare or present for health, and this is pretty much his bailout card. RFK is his bailout card, and so by him pushing this agenda against Tylenol and with the support of folinic acid or vitamin B9 is what it's also known as, uh, this helps him look good politically, and that's really the agenda here. Um, you know, uh, so this is more like RFK's slogan, where he's saying, Trump said, "Make America Great Again." RFK's slogan is "Make America Healthy Again." So this is something that has political ties, is rooted in politics. Next, let's go to RFK Jr. So, oh no, go back to the previous page. So, we're going to address RFK Jr. So RK, he's a known, longstanding advocate against vaccines with a history of attributing various health conditions to environmental and pharmaceutical causes. His involvement lends credibility to alternative explanations for autism within certain communities while advancing his broader anti-establishment health agenda. The thing about RFK is he's a known skeptic and a known crackpot. No one in the medical community takes him serious because at best he's just a skeptic and he doesn't have any evidence to support his claims. By Trump co-signing this, it makes him look good. It establishes him in the medical community, and being that he's also in the lead of Trump's health program also satisfies, his claims and makes him look good. In the medical community, he's not accepted. in the medical community, he's not respected. But with Trump co-signing him, it gives him the push that, if he desired to push, which, I mean, who doesn't? If you're trying to make these claims, you want to be recognized, you want to be, given, top, credence and, respect. And by Trump doing this, it gives him that. By him and his administration pushing this war against Tylenol gives RFK the validation he needs. So next we'll talk about Dr. Oz. Now, we all know Dr. Mehmet Oz. I've watched the show. I'm sure a few of you guys have watched the Dr. Oz show. Dr. Oz, uh, on his show, he was never really giving concrete medical advice. He gave a lot of alternative, you know, tips and alternative medication offered on the show. And a lot of times, a lot of people would not necessarily feel comfortable with him until he brought on doctors. And it's when he brought on doctors and nurses and things like that on the show to confirm a lot of his claims. And some things he was accurate on, but there were a lot of things he was not accurate on. And even those doctors on the live show had to try to correct him in a way that did not make him look stupid. But those who were watching and paying attention, we saw the contradictions. And so, to me, Dr. Oz is not really a certified doctor. The medical community also doesn't respect him as well. So, he has baggage when it comes to the terms of his credibility. He is a skilled cardiothoracic surgeon by training, but he's known more for the TV hosting. Miracle weight loss pills, dietary supplements, alternative therapies. That's Dr. Oz. That's what we know him for. That's what he has. One thing he does lack is scientific support. So, with Dr. Oz being the new CMS administrator, he brings his own credibility from TV and a history of promoting alternative treatments and supplements. His past business ties to supplement companies like iHerb create potential conflicts of interest when promoting specific treatments. So there's a reason Dr. Oz is here. He's here to support the claims of Trump and RFK. Dr. Oz also is here because he's now a politician. For those who don't know, he's currently now, a politician. So it's a conflict, there. But also, he's really just the face of, this whole new movement with the Trump administration. He didn't add any scientific value to vet, the claims of Tylenol causing autism or folinic acid being the one cure all for autism. He's really just the face of it because people know him. People who don't do their research or don't see through the fog will take that as credibility. So that's what he's known for. Let's go to the next slide here. We're almost done. So, uh, Brass posted the links for the autism research. Again, I'll read their quote. There is no single cause of autism. Autism spectrum disorders result from complex interplay of genetic and environmental factors that are very significant across individuals. Currently, not only has the Autism Science Foundation responded, the manufacturer of Tylenol has also reached out to RFK. I have to look deeper into this, but I've also heard that they were suing as well because of these claims. So I'd like to see where that goes. Usually, companies don't sue unless they're 100% sure that they're going to win. So it looks like Tylenol will be suing. I will definitely follow that and see, how that goes. See if there's a settlement or if they take it to trial. But they're aware, as well as the scientific community. And, they've been on it. They've been quick. They've been very decisive. Autism researchers and autism organizations have emphasized vehemently that autism spectrum disorders are complex. Experts have also criticized the Trump administration, saying that they're rehashing old, inconclusive studies without acknowledging the current body of evidence that contradicts their claims. The Autism Science Foundation, along with other major research organizations, have reiterated that decades of research point to, again, genetic factors as primary contributors to autism, with environmental influences playing varied and complex roles that differ across individuals. Uh, so there are some parents who have uh, saw this news and it does appeal to them. A lot of them want answers. Also, policymakers are looking for some type of action. But currently, the whole thing is, can they prove this connection? We're looking to see if the Trump administration can present some new data to show that they can prove this connection. Again, this isn't a new connection, so they would have to go to great depths to prove a link that has yet to be proven. All right, let's go to the next slide. So we're going to the risk and broader implications. I know I talked about some of it earlier as far as all who are affected, but it lists them here. One is public health confusion. Conflicting messages about medication safety during pregnancy can lead to dangerous decisions. Pregnant women might avoid necessary pain and fever relief, potentially compromising their health and the pregnancy outcomes. Legal and financial ramifications. Previously dismissed lawsuits against Tylenol manufacturers could be revived, leading to costly legal battles. Simultaneously, supplement sales of folinic acid are likely to increase, benefiting companies with ties to the announcing officials. Next is misallocated resources. Families may redirect time, money, and attention away from evidence based interventions and support services toward unproven treatment, potentially delaying beneficial therapies for children with autism. And then lastly, erosion of scientific trust. This is really like the meat and potatoes of it all is, while people may make certain decisions that could be detrimental, it's all based on the erosion of current scientific trust. When political figures like Trump, like RFK, and now Dr. Oz make these medical claims that contradict scientific evidence, public trust in healthcare professionals, public trust in research institutions, and public trust in evidence based medicine could suffer long term damage. So this announcement is concerning, at least to me, because genuinely, while the autism community, is constantly looking for ways to treat symptoms and looking for ways of prevention, families need to be able to rely on the information that's out there. Families need to be able to know and trust that, the information provided is something that they can count on, is something that they can depend on and trust. And if you have, you know, politicians like Trump, who, again, he's at the top of the tree here when we're talking politics, making a claim such as this, it makes you, be on notice, not just as a, consumer or as a citizen, but also as a business person, as a medical industry or a medical, community from, education. It makes you go unnoticed because it's undermining everything. All right, we'll go to this last slide here where I address balancing innovation, evidence, and public trust. So politics, commerce, and medical science intersecting together will cause challenges for democratic societies like ours. While the government has to encourage, innovation and remain open to new medical discoveries, they also have responsibilities to ensure the public safety and to also maintain trust in evidence-based medicine. And I put this in a three-step process. The first step is evidence standards. Medical claims, especially those affecting vulnerable populations, must be held to rigorous scientific standards, regardless of their political or commercial appeal. The second step, transparent process. Healthcare policy should emerge from transparent, peer reviewed research processes rather than political announcements or commercial interest. And then third, public education. Governments must invest in public scientific literacy to help citizens evaluate medical claims and distinguish between correlation and causation. This current situation demonstrates why extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Despite extensive research, no proof exists that Tylenol causes autism. While folinic acid in some small cases show limited potential for particular subgroups of individuals that have autism, it is not a cure or a universal treatment. So this announcement is primarily driven by political positioning and commercial interest rather than a new scientific breakthrough. And that was really my whole point for doing this. Is once I, did the research and peeped, how they were doing this, I understood that from the moment Trump got on that stand and made that announcement, from when he tied Charlie Kirk to it, from when he identified RFK and Dr. Oz on his team, to the moment he came out of his mouth and said that Tylenol causes autism, this is purely a political play. So moving forward here, this is my wrap up. The challenge always lies in making sure that when you foster environments with genuine medical innovations, we as a people can benefit and flourish. This makes public health very, reliable instead of it being politically motivated based on claims. Uh, for the autism community, their focus should continue to remain on evidence based research and interventions, continue to have those support services and therapies, and continue to do research that addresses their real needs with autism, rather than chasing politically convenient yet scientifically unsupported quote unquote breakthrough announcements. So that's my piece. I've explained, the claim between Tylenol causing autism. I've explained folinic acid or vitamin B9 being a proposed cure. I've also explained the political parties behind it, as well as their agenda, and also explained how to properly do this. If they were going to do this, here's how you properly do this in 3 simple steps. So that's the presentation. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm here.
Man, I appreciate you for that.
You're welcome.
One of the things that I like to do, I want to keep this short and sweet. I want to get this on the record, right? I want to get this on the record. Then I want people to kind of sit with it. You know what I mean? Because see, stuff like this, I don't need a whole bunch of people coming up talking about Egypt and all this, that, and the other, or whatever. We got it on record. I think it's a good conversation. I think it's a healthy conversation because a lot more people are affected by autism than you think.
Facts.
And recently, a lot of people have been doing the spectrum conversation. And then you got everyday people going to doctors, getting classified on spectrums. And RFK, for a very long time, he's been saying a lot of wicked things in and around autism. A lot of disrespectful stuff, in my opinion, because one of the toughest, being a parent is tough, Mel, but being a parent of an autistic child is,
Yeah.
it's something, you know what I mean? It's something else. So when you get into that situation of, your child, whether they verbal, nonverbal, offering false hope or offering false diagnosis or something like that, I don't think it's something that you play with.
No.
Some pseudo is too pseudo. You know what I mean? Some of it is too. It's too. You're doing too much. I'm a person that says when it comes to Trump, I try to separate his rhetoric from his politics, but now his rhetoric has
Facts.
become his politics,
Exactly.
and it's really just all rhetoric and not a whole lot of politics at all. Um, so, and this is it's like a bridge too far for me. So I'd like to get this on record. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring a panel of people in the Discord, and then we'll discuss it and then open it up for a show. But I just wanted you to get the information out. Um, I know we give you all the raw conversations from the Discord, but stuff like this is the kind of content that I like to do, where we get actual information, stuff that you can go look up. And then remember, stuff that's on YouTube is on YouTube for perpetuity forever. So I think it's good that we get this on there, and then I'm gonna open it up for a panel with us, like an organized panel. I don't want to mess this up. So
Right.
you got any closing remarks or anything that you want to put to it, and then we'll set it up where I can get the guys in the Discord, the ladies in the Discord, and get them up here and maybe start off the conversation tomorrow. Maybe I'll play the show tomorrow, and then we'll do the Discord show specifically on this and invite people to the Discord. What you think about that?
It sounds perfect. It sounds perfect. Yeah, I like
So,
that.
so what are your thoughts on it? Any closing thoughts on it? Any now, yeah, any closing thoughts? Any hope out there, or any message you want to leave it with the people?
So the only thing I would say is this isn't over. To me, this represents this attempt, because I see this as an attempt. This attempt represents the Trump administration looking for opportunities to validate themselves. So, they try with Tylenol. You may see them try with other things, but we do see that they're willing to undermine their own organization, such as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, such as the Center uh, for Disease Control, CDC. So we see that these political games that they're playing, they don't mind who they affect, who they cut, who they harm, who they disqualify and discredit, including themselves. So for me, like, I'm looking for the next one. This is just one move, but this isn't going to be successful. He's going to probably make other claims. RFK is also going to probably make other claims. I'll be on the lookout for those. Currently, like I said, Tylenol has lawsuits out there, and there are also other lawsuits that were made against Tylenol years ago that are now getting a boost after Trump's comments. There's an article that just came out, I want to say today, around noon, where other companies who had previously sued Tylenol are starting to sue again. Because again, this claim coming from the person that it's coming from gets hypothetically gets some validation, even though it doesn't, because it has yet to be proven. And in the court of law, a fair judge is going to see that it is yet to be proven, regardless of who says it. So, there are, implications by this being caused. This isn't something that you just want to sweep under the rug and say, okay, Trump's dumb, move on. This is something that could have, further complications. So we definitely have to pay attention when these things are said. And like I said, I just don't think he's done. But in the Discord, I'll post the link about the new lawsuits that are coming after Tylenol. That way people can see that, these past companies who have tried to sue before and had no evidence are still looking to sue. So that's my last part. Tylenol as a company is affected. They lost a lot of stock because of this, but that's not gonna happen. But seeing the implications of a political movement like this is something that when I saw it, it caught me by surprise. But as I looked further into it, I was like, oh, this is deeper than just surface. And so that's why I had to address it. That's why I had to do the show on it. And I'd love to hear the conversation, in the Discord. Make sure you guys join the Discord if you haven't, because the conversation is definitely going to be good. But that's it.